I'm a guy who thinks that the Enneagram is a really helpful tool.
Yeah.
But I look at it with very clear eyes, particularly as a therapist, right? I look at it and I think, it's useful. It's not perfect, but what it does do is I see it as a portalway into a deeper conversation with ourselves and others about our own inner architecture.
Mm.
And if it does that, if it just gets the conversation going,
Yes.
right, I'm happy to do that, right? I don't have, I meet some people, even in the Christian world, and they think the Enneagram is like some magic thing. And I'm like, don't go too far. Like it's like, there was a quote in the Row Back to You where I quoted the famous George Box line where he says, all models are wrong, but some are useful.
Mm.
And that's kind of how I see the Enneagram, right?
Yeah.
It's an imperfect model. In many ways, it's wrong about people, but it sure is useful.
Yeah, it opens up conversations, and especially conversations about the parts of my life that I don't like, in ways that somehow bypass destructive shame and are really interesting and even kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if it does that, then I'm delighted.
Well, let's turn now to the 12 steps. We have been on a journey at Become New of kind of walking through them and trying to learn about how do we approach change and God and spiritual life. And so I'm very, very eager to read your book. Was so excited when I found out that you were writing it, and just to think that I could try in a small way, but then you also would be pointing to this resource that lots of people might turn to and find help from. What caused you to become interested in the 12 steps? To whatever degree it's appropriate to share or not share, tell us about that journey for you.
Yeah, so I was first introduced to the 12 steps in 1987 when I went into recovery for alcoholism. I was a Christian at the time, right? So I let's just be upfront about that.
Yep.
Nobody is exempt from the possibility of their own spiritual misadventures, right?
Including Christians.
Not just being a good Christian, right? Yeah. And then, but what I like to say is that my first round in sobriety that I just audited the course. You know what I mean? I hadn't really signed up for credit yet. I just wanted to stop drinking, right? And so I went to a 12-step program for a couple of years, and then the desire for alcohol was expelled, and I went on with my life. And periodically I would poke in and out, to meetings from time to time, but not in a way that was wholehearted. I didn't throw myself into it.